So here is the story of a girl named Sue Paul. A story no different for each one of us all. She is restless and aimless, even bruised and afraid, just wanting to know why and how she was made. Well, to know this, we'll have to go back to the start, to the place where God made every intricate part.
Before you were born, you were all planned out. All your fingers and your toes and your hair and your mouth, and your mind and your soul and your will and your heart. I handcrafted it all and I loved every part. Wonderfully, specially made from day one.
Okay.
You're more precious than me than the sun. Don't forget these words, hang them up on your wall. You don't have to be anyone else. I made you, Sue Paul.
So before she was born, things were happy and grand, but it didn't take long till the problems began. Those words on the wall quickly started to fade. When in school, Sue Paul struggled to make the right grades.
Okay, innocent.
Well, I hope this weekend brought on plenty of rest. For the day of our first spelling test. Spell Felingan and Felangan. Felomite and Felabed. Felugan and Felangan.
Miss Withersburg said. Soon all the words on the test were reported. The grades on the paper were nicely assorted.
Except for one grade, which was woefully low. Lower than any grade from any spelling test should go.
Lower than Sally and Marsha's and Jim's? Lower than Bob's, even lower than Kim's?
Well, maybe it wasn't my grade that was so low.
Sue Paul lowered her head, hoping no one would know. But everyone knew as the grades were all read. And once they were read, to Sue Paul, the kids said,
You can't spell Felugan.
It's simple, Sue Paul. You can't be that stupid.
Just look at Timothy, Amber, and Ray. They spell Felugan just fine today.
Sue Paul hung her head.
I tried.
She sighed. Then she went to the window and wanted to cry. Because the words the kids said cut her deep in her heart. And the downing, the pain, and the shame got its start.
Maybe I wasn't made to be smart like the rest, because I should have done well on that first spelling test. Guess I wasn't wonderfully specially made after all. I'm not Timothy, Sally, or Kim, just Sue Paul.
But she lifted her chin and she straightened her back and she set out to find what would be Sue Paul's neck.
Well, how about flag football? And my future's right. I just hope I'm okay. I am kind of light.
So practice time came and it was time to choose teams. But for captains, the coach picked Johnny and Jeannie. It soon went from 20 to 11 to 6, and Sue Paul was still standing, not yet in the mix. From 4 down to 3 and 3 down to 2, finally one girl remained, and we all know just who. All is too scared, Maggie said from the back.
If someone has her hair wrong, my old crab, and her hands are like butter.
Came another shout.
She'll fumble the ball and this won't work out.
Her muscles are weak.
She throws the ball all wrong. She throws like a girl. And her hair's long.
We don't want Sue Paul.
Lucky that you win.
It was the only time the two captains agreed. So Sue Paul dropped her head.
I tried.
She sighed, turned around to walk home, and she tried not to cry. All the hurting continued, the doubt and the shame. Trying out for the team just brought more of the same.
Maybe I wasn't made to be on the sports team, because I should have been much stronger, bigger, and mean. Guess I'm not wonderfully specially made after all. Not Maggie, or Johnny, or Jean, just Sue Paul. So I'm not a great athlete, and I clearly can't spell, but there must be something I can do fairly well.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
I'll practice my scales, my sharps, and my flats. I'll join the school choir. Yeah, I'll give that a crack.
Sue Paul put on her robe and she stood up nice and straight. She warmed up her voice. Oh, she just couldn't wait. Might this be the thing Sue Paul saw all along? She opened her mouth and began her first song.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
The hurting their ears. All at once it came out.
Blonde hair!
Paul, singing's just not for you. You call that a tune?
Molly said with a smile.
You sound like a C6 scared crocodile.
I don't even think those were notes that you sung. More like scrizzles and frizzles that jumped from your lungs.
Sue Paul turned her head.
I tried.
She sighed. Then she walked off the stage, fighting hard not to cry. Because the doubts and the pain and the shame was so tough, no matter how hard she tried, it just wasn't enough.
Maybe I wasn't made to do musical arts, because I should have been able to carry my part. Guess I'm not wonderfully specially made after all. Not Molly or Polly or Lou, just Sue Paul.
But there was still one last thing that made Sue Paul feel great, being picked by a boy to go out on some dates. You see, Billy Bob, Jimmy, John, Stevie, Ray, Stu was the hunkest hunk that Sue Paul ever knew. His eyes were like diamonds, his smile like the sun. Her laugh was so loosely fun. But one day, when she saw him, he was lacking his chair. Sue Paul's chest got real tight and she filled up with fear. He walked up to Sue Paul while her face turned deep red, and from the tip of his tongue, these words to her said,
There are so many girls so much better than you, who are wild and fun and more interesting too. Girls who race cars and jump out of planes. Girls who dress up and cheer from our football games. But Sue Paul, you're too boring, too lousy for me. You just knit little sweaters and watch your TV. How can we date when you're missing it all? The truth is I can't. I'm through here, Sue Paul.
So Sue Paul covered her head.
I tried.
She sighed. Then she walked home alone and she started to cry. Now the doubting, the pain, and the shame was so strong. Sue Paul wondered if just living was wrong all along.
I guess I wasn't made to be worthy of love, because I should have been more talented, pretty, and fun. Now I know I'm not wonderfully specially made after all. I'm not who I always wished I would be. Just Sue Paul.
So the words on the wall are now covered in stain, but beneath the marks, those 3 words still remain.
Wonderfully, specially made from day one. You're more precious than me, than the moon and the sun. Don't forget these words never going through your wall. You don't have to be anyone else. I made you Sue Paul.
So tonight while you sleep, know those words are all true. True for Sue Paul Magoo, true for me, and true for